Our invitation to debate both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Folks, how are you? Great to be here. Thank you.
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
And please welcome Robert Kennedy Jr.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is there.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
The main cut. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do is try to put things back together again. That's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out in a position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, but there's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of a household where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. The price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination, what I was left with in corporate greed, is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos. Literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. And the situation is we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Thank you. President Trump?
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID. And when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates. That was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you. President Biden?
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he had the greatest economy in the world. And, the fact of the matter is that we find ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have any, this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can.
Mr. Kennedy, the question was, people feel worse off because of inflation.
And I want to thank everybody for being here and for this opportunity. And thank you, John. I also want to thank Elon Musk for live streaming this on X. CNN made some statements suggesting that might be, that he may get sued for that. And I'm very, very grateful for the courage that he's shown to protect freedom of speech in this country. I want to just orient us a little bit about why we're here tonight. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm complaining, because this isn't a personal issue. This is something that should be very troubling for our country. What happened with this debate? My uncle gave the first televised debate in 1960. Ever since then, the debate has been run by nonpartisan organizations, the League of Women Voters till 1988, and then the debating commission thereafter. And this is the first time that a private corporation owns the debate. And it's troubling because CNN is making tens of millions of dollars from this debate. And so they have an incentive to go ahead and collude with the two presidential candidates whose main purpose was to keep me off the stage. And again, this isn't a personal issue. This is something that's important for our democracy, because Americans feel like the system is rigged. And this is this collusion with a corporation or profit corporation, that both those campaigns are going to be pumping in tens or hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising. So it's all a big payoff. This is exactly the kind of merger of state and corporate power that I'm running in order to oppose. And Americans believe that the system is rigged against them because it is. And this is an example of how badly rigged it is.
Mr. Kennedy,
The question is about.
Okay, guys. Let's see here. Good morning. Hopefully you guys had a great Thursday. Hopefully you guys had a chance to watch the debate today. You know, obviously, I've told you guys before that these live streams are not about politics anymore. But I thought it pertinent to share that because a lot of people don't know that was actually happening. He literally did a side-by-side. He went on for the entire thing. I have not had a chance to watch it, but I probably will, just for my edification. Things didn't go well last night, and for a lot of different reasons. And before we start to gloat and go, "We told you so," you need to remember that there are alternatives that are much worse than El Presidente, than JoJo. Also, nobody won the bingo, regardless of what you thought was said. Nobody won the bingo last night, and that's okay because there wasn't a prize for it. But during the Discord for the members only Discord, the prize was reissued out to Wyoming Gal. I think it is Wyoming Gal. I have sent her a message. Hopefully she figures this out. It's getting really difficult to give free stuff away these days, especially when it's not cheap. Let's old Ian K. I'm not sure if Ian K is in the comment or in the stream just yet, but Ian K won the free giveaway that I opened up to everybody who participated last night. We had a very high participation level for such a spurred on event. So I was very interested in. I'm very happy to see that we had a good time last night, and that. Yeah, it works. It all worked. Also, I'm trying to figure out why. There we go. Sorry about that. I was just testing my system that didn't seem to be operating for some reason. That is not a big deal. All right, we're going to flick that. We're going to flick that. All right, current score 20-18. YouTube is in the lead. All right, so let me push some buttons over here, guys, and get things the way they're supposed to be. Boom, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then we're going to do this. No, that's not what we're doing. We're going to do that right there. Okay, so everything is as it should be. 1916. All right, so Going to the Rumble chat. We got 16 people in there. Only 3 people are commenting. Come on, guys. Come on. Stop slacking. West Virginia Pappy. First, Laser. Number 2. And the real Patriot Medic is deterred. If we roll on over to the almighty YouTubes, what do we got here? We got Rose. First, Jordan O'Neill. Number 2, Bradley Collins. You are deterred. He says, I'm deterred again. We got Tuck. We got JB. We got Josh. West Virginia Pappy, Bob Pita, Rose is in the house. Where we at here? Temanteo is in the house. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. We got Ian. Ian showed up. There you go. The winner chicken dinner. James Trump 24 Prince. James. Let's see here. He says, good morning, y'all. I'm headed to the mountains to do some trout fishing, but I'm gonna listen while driving. Nice. Good to see you. Let's see here. CUCV farmer. I don't want to call you Cuck V. I don't want to do that. I'm calling you Cucumber Farmer. Hey, Cuke, because I don't want to say Cuck. Let's see here. He says, I'm in the People's Republic of Michigan. I got you, bro. Yeah, it's pretty nasty up there. It's let's see, where are we at here? Timoteo says, 2 wings are the same bird as we are in trouble. Okay, so throat's feeling a little itchy today, but the chats are rolling in, guys. I love you guys. Cool Coach showed up. Debbie showed up. Nice. Okay. Let's see here. Oh man, it's kind of itchy. We're gonna try to push on now. So, keeping with the theme, it's like how do we survive, and how does this actually get really associated? Well, guys, unfortunately, the world is watching, and our enemies may see this small window of opportunity to do something that only the prepared will survive. And obviously, that would be using an EMP weapon. Both countries have them. Russia's are more advanced. But it would benefit them in long into the future, and the Chinese think well into the future. Over 100 years is part of their game plan. Every time they update it, every 5 years. If you've never read it, you might want to read it. They update their game plan every 5 years. So, laying waste to the United States does not benefit any single country, regardless of how crazy you think their leaders is. So they would definitely want to use an EMP to create as much chaos and to create as much misunderstanding of the situation as possible, when they probably wouldn't even have to come here because it would shut the U.S. down so quickly. But, it is what it is. Andy Pearson, Tongaloid is in the house. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Beecher showed up. Good morning. Good morning, Tuck. Lightning Raider showed up. Good morning, my friend. Good morning, my friend. Man, it's a tight race today. YouTube 22, Rumble 21. Okay, so with all that said, we're going to go ahead and segue into this. I broke it down into 2 segments. Okay. The first segment is how to survive, some of the things that you're going to need to know or do to help you in surviving an EMP attack. And then and then the second thing I broke it into was how the hell to get home, to get down the road if an EMP attack happened. There's a very good chance that it would happen while you're in your vehicle. I think that's the biggest, scariest thing, is like, I'm at work, I'm in my car, I'm out of town, I'm on vacation, and this happens. What do I do? So, as usual, I made a nice little list for us, and we can go ahead and follow that. Let's see here. Yeah, my throat is really messed up. Brian, good to see you, bro. I don't know why it just happened like in the last half an hour. Okay, so first and foremost, stockpile non-perishable food and water. Store long-lasting food items such as canned goods, dried beans, rice, and freeze-dried foods. Obviously, the list is much larger than that. Also want to maintain a supply of potable water and water purification methods like filters, tablets, and boiling. We talk about water purification all the time. My 3 pillars are simple: water, food, and security, in that order for all my new preppers. Okay, develop off-grid power solutions. Use solar panels, wind turbines, and other renewable energy sources. Include hand crank generators and other manual power options for essential devices. The thing to think about this is you have to be able to protect these devices from an EMP. So you Faraday bags. Wait, hold on. I got a Faraday bag. I got a couple different size Faraday bags right here. You just put what you're going to put inside of it. Here we go. It's really simple. You just put what you're going to put inside of it, and then you roll that flat. That's it. That's all there is to it, guys. If you do it right. This one's, you got to double roll it so it's tight. There you go. And now it's as protected as it's going to get. You might want to think about multi-layering things. Good morning, JB. Good to see you. Let's see. It only shows 1 like on mine. So let's get some more for this guy. Yeah, guys, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. It really does help. I mean, there's no reason not to do it. If you're here and you're listening, obviously you agree. All right. So, but yes, find a way to, and there's various ways. YouTube is the master of education these days, especially preparedness education. If you need to know how to do something, everything from changing spark plugs to rewiring a frickin' house, and protecting your gear from an EMP, you can find it on YouTube. All right, what do we got here? Secure and protect communication devices. What I was just talking about. Store radios, walkie-talkies, and other essential electronics in Faraday cages or bags. Develop and practice prearranged communication plans with family and community. The hardest word in that one is community. All right, what do we got here? Maintain a supply of manual tools. Keep a variety of hand tools for gardening, building, and repairing, including items like manual can openers, hand saws, and mechanical pumps, because these things will be very much needed if this were to happen. All right, so I'm going to go to the chat real quick here. Let's see. James says, where are we at here? Boom, boom, boom. James says, I have EMP shield in all of my vehicles and my house. And if you prep for an EMP or CME, you'll be fine for almost anything. That's very true. That's very true. I, too, do have an EMP shields in my vehicles. And we'll talk about that later on, too, because they are sponsors of Prep Stock, and they get a little bit of play in this, and it does make sense to have like a segue in there for it. True Speaks Dad showed up. Yo, yo, yo. Where we at? Bradley Collins. Got to run family calls. Have a great stream. Be safe and keep on prepping, my friends. Good to see you, Bradley. Good to see you. Go away. Be safe. Have fun. Okay, current score 23-24. Rumble is in the lead by 2 points now. 2 points. Just changed to 2 points. All right. Also, hey, Rumble guys, if you're on freaking Rumble, say hi in the chat. We'll say hi back. Get known. Be part of the community. I mean, I get it. You're working, man, but lurkers don't really do anything. Get your trash in one bag. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. CUCV farmer. What does CUCV stand for, bro? Tell me what that is. And then I can call you that. I'm not worried about China or Russia using an EMP. I'm more worried about them using cyber attacks to take down the grid. Yeah, well, you're right. And they're damn it. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to see if I can't put a cough drop in like a piece of chaw, because for some reason my throat is as itchy as they get. But you still end up with the same thing. The difference is your phones still work, but you can't talk to anybody. So be prepared, man. Be prepared. All right, where we got here? True Speak Dad says, I got a manual brake bleeder for manually canning dried foods, as well as USB one for dried food canning. I like the idea about that manual brake bleeder, but I think I'd have to see it in action for myself, not just on the YouTubes. But I think that's a good idea for manual canning. Let's see here. How about an EMP shield for a mobility scooter? Is that possible? Yes, Rose, it absolutely 100% is. EMP Shield does make a 12-volt version for small vehicles. So yes, you could definitely put it on there. They also make 24-volt versions. Basically, they've got this tape on the side of it, and it'll just, you can stick it to anything. So, all right, let's see. I own I own an M1009 CUCV. They were the military vehicles before the Humvees. Cuck V. So a Jeep. So you own a Jeep. Let's see here. I'm Googling that. I spent some time in the military, and oh man, it's a truck. Commercial utility cargo vehicle. It's a truck. But I'm happy calling you Cuck V now. So now that I know what it is. All right, let's see here. And thank you for sharing. Let's see here. True Speak Dad says, I'll do a video. Yes, please. And make sure you share a link in the Discord so that we can all see what you're doing. All right, what do we got going on here? I'm not sure if it's helping, but I'm going to continue to persevere. I'm going to press through this. Focus on medical supplies and knowledge. Stock up on first aid kits, essential medications, and medical supplies. Learn basic medical skills and emergency procedures, including CPR and wound care. This is huge, guys. This is huge, guys. A lot of people like to buy these fancy kits, and they have no idea how to use them. They don't even watch a YouTube video to see how it's done. A lot of people don't know this, but you can get so much medical training online. It's unbelievable. If you can get firsthand training, like even if you get the opportunity to do like Refuge Medical's Stop the Bleed course, guys, get on it. Do something. There's got to be medical training in your area that's offered up. It's free or at a reasonable charge. It's got to be there. You've got to get this training because, you know, you could save one of your family members' lives. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. All right, let's see here. Develop and practice self-defense skills. Have self-defense tools or weapons and ensure safe handling and knowledge. Take self-defense courses and implement basic home security measures. If you don't have a background in firearms, then I do recommend that you get some kind of firearm training. It will normally start with safety. Maybe you take an NRA course. I don't know. Maybe you take a GOA course. I don't know. Maybe you go down to your local gun range and see what they've got to offer you. Normally, anybody at a gun range who's offering to teach you anything that works there is certified because insurance won't cover anybody, and they're probably going to give you some halfway decent skills. Do you need to become John Wick? If you want to, go for it. It's not going to hurt anything, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Create a community support network. Build strong relationships with neighbors and local community members for mutual aid. Establish plans for sharing resources, skills, and responsibilities. This is one of the hardest things to do. This is right up there with storing water, guys. Nobody does this. If you have a community support network, and we're not talking about the internet, guys. If you have a community support network that you're working with, type 1 in the chat. I'm very interested to see who actually has one. If you do not, type the number 2 in the chat. I'll wait because my throat's doing stupid stuff. Oh, boy. It's like Cuck V Farmer does, Light Raider does. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Get off the slacker button, guys. It's real hard. Let's see. Tuck says, I need to look again. So far, the only free medical training is through CERT, and I don't qualify for CERT. I got you. We got Rose does not, Beecher does not, James does not. True Speak Dad says, LP's got that Biden cough. How dare you, Mr. Laser says no. The Real Patriot Medic says no. So confirming my analysis that this is one of the hardest things to actually build. It may have a lot to do with where you live, but listen, if you guys are thinking about doing this and it's something that's feasible, but you're not actively doing it, maybe you need to like make friends with your neighbors, you know, and you know, kind of ease them into the idea. It's definitely not a sit down, you know, first and let's talk about nothing else but prepping. But maybe it's a good idea for even your blue tide friends to understand that some bad things could happen and that they should have a few things going on. And that if you showed up at my house and you're not prepared, then you're going to have a bad day, you know? So it is what it is. Bob does not as well. You know, maybe conversations. I honestly think, you know, it's like one of the reasons that I really push the chats to be more active, because I feel that community is our biggest strength and we do not leverage it enough. West Virginia Pappy says 2 just family and friends. Gotcha. That is a network, dude. More than 2 people is a network. Okay. So it is something. It is something. Where we got here? Truth Speak Dad says my neighbors are older and think I'm ridiculous. Yeah, well, you must live in a place where nothing bad ever happens. So, you know, those are the kind of people that are going to be the ones that are going to remember your conversations, remember seeing the things that you do, and are going to show up, and you're going to have to show them a shovel. Let's see here. Timoteo says it's easier said than done. I have trust issues. I got you, Timoteo. I have trust issues as well. I'm not saying, you know, wear your heart on your sleeve. What I'm saying is that be analytical about it, be tactical about it, and, you know, gauge this person. And would you want this person to be part of anything you're trying to do? And if so, then you approach them and you speak intelligently. You know, like I said, make friends. You know, friendship can turn for anything, can turn from a friendship. You know, I have the community that I live in is I'm literally a red dot in a blue sea. Okay. There are not a lot of conservatives that live where I live. And they have very different values. They're all probably crying this morning because things didn't go too well. But some of them still have a lot of common sense. And some of them are my friends. And they know who I am and I know who they are. And we can still be friends. You know what I'm saying? At some point, your friends will come around. At some point, your friends will get smart. It'll take one incident. It'll take one emergency. It'll take one something to get them psychologically involved. And then it's game on. And now you have the beginnings of a network. Let's see here. Cuck V says, you need bodies to grow food and protect it. There will be no grocery store when the grid goes down. That is very true. In an NPS situation, absolutely. You're going to need to be able to form groups, you know, and it's easier to have a small unified network right now. That way, if something were to go down during an EMP situation, you will have that network of friends that you can utilize to maintain, for lack of better words, maintain control of the masses. You know, West Virginia Pappy says politics won't matter in SHTF. You know, you're right. Politics won't matter, but let's face it. We got to be honest. The people that wear the blue ties these days are a little freaking wacko, and they're all about democracy. And I'm here to tell you right now, democracy does not work inside of these for lack of better words, an SHTF scenario. Okay, it doesn't work. If you look at any rebellion or uprising within a small country, after they get they go to the Capitol and they take the government down, they take over. They spend the next 10 to 15 years arguing with each other about how things should be. So it doesn't work. Well, I think, and you've always, you know, every time you watch any one of these survivalist movies, there's always one protagonist who's just freaking scared, you know, and I think, we should be, you know, and it's great. But listen, there's a difference between an opinion and an attitude, and all they're doing is expressing attitudes. So Let's see here. All my neighbors are like-minded. Let's see. Oh my God, the opposite of that. Time to move. Mine are like-minded conservatives, but don't believe in prepping and preparing. That's okay. That's okay. Deep in their heart, truth speak, Dad, they're probably preppers. Tuck says, I think it would take a crisis to get my neighborhood prepare for a crisis. Absolutely, 100%. Let's see here. Let's see. Where are we at here? Tuck says, with the blue ties, it's the party first and everything else second. Yeah, that's true. But in SHTF situation, like West Virginia Pappy was saying, politics won't matter in SHTF, but their attitudes will still prevail. It's psychological. You have to remember that the people with the blue ties believe that the government is good. They believe that the government is going to do everything for you. And when in the absence of government, they don't know what to do. So let's go ahead and move on here because we kind of got spun off into left field. All right, so grow and preserve your own food. Start a garden to produce fresh fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Learn and practice food preservation techniques like canning, drying, and fermenting. Drying and fermenting, kind of a little bit of a lost art. We've talked about fermenting in the past. You guys should probably look it up. It's not hard to do. Prepare for heating and cooking. Have alternative heating sources such as wood stoves, propane heaters, and kerosene heaters. Use camp stoves, rocket stoves, or solar ovens for cooking without electricity. I have all of those things. I love my solar oven. Now that it's warming up, I need to find a place so I can cook me a roast with some potatoes and vegetables. It is unbelievable the flavor that comes out of these things when you cook them in a solar oven. It's absolutely amazing. Where are we at here? Maintain transportation without electronics. Keep bicycles, horses, or non-electric vehicles for transportation. Store extra fuel safely and learn manual navigation using map and compass. Once again, that lost skill that nobody does anymore, so they don't know how to do it. Many people don't even know which direction is north, south, east, or west. Many people can't orient themselves. Many people can't lock their brains instantly into knowing, well, the sun's over there, it's later in the day, so that's probably west. They don't think like that anymore. All they think is beep, boop, beep, boop. That's what they think. All right, what do we got here? Secure shelter and clothing. Ensure adequate shelter and weather-appropriate clothing to protect against extreme weather conditions. Guys, it's either going to be hot and wet or it's going to be cold and wet. But either way, you're going to be hot, you're going to be cold, and you're going to be wet. So make sure that you have adequate shelter and weather appropriate clothing. Now, I never use, you've got, what is it? Not the 7 Ps, but what is it? The number keeps changing. The 7 to 11 C's of survival, and I don't really look at shelter as for preparedness because we always have a place to go. We have our homes. If a tornado came and destroyed it, yes, we would obviously need some kind of shelter, but plan appropriately. Have sleeping bags, blankets, and thermal wear for cold weather. A lot of people don't think about that thermal underwear right now. Thermal underwear in Rose's and Walmart, and I think even Lowe's, is super cheap and it works. So why not get it when it's only a couple of bucks instead of waiting for winter? Hint, hint. Let's see here. Let's go to the chat real quick here. The most dangerous words. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Absolutely true. Timotheo's like 100%. True Speak Dad says they'll unveil themselves after a month of not being able to get their medicines, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the crazy pills will definitely run out. They'll definitely run out. Or worse, they don't know the difference between grid and magnetic north. That's true, but hey, listen, man, I've done land navigation all over this freaking planet, and there's always some little thing that's going to screw you up just a little bit. So, being a professional land nav or orienteer, you are the man. So getting from point A to point B is very important when you need to avoid things, go around things. Yeah, they'll learn real fast. Okay, what do we got here? I'm going to turn that off. West Virginia Pappy says neoprene socks are nice when cold. Yes. Yes, they are. If you're just standing around, they are great. All right, let's see here. Financial security and bartering. Keep a supply of cash, precious metal, or barterable goods like alcohol, tobacco, and ammunition. Develop skills or produce goods that can be traded within a barter economy. Guys, I'm here to tell you, cigarettes is a problem. A lot of people they'll like go out buy like a case of case of cigarettes, right? And it's funny too, because a case is that box and spend like $50-$60. I remember when I can get a case of cigarettes for $10. But anyway, they'll go out and they'll buy this. They'll do all sorts of stuff to try and preserve it. And the reality is that tobacco is already dry, and that it is going to be even more dry. Now, will it be a barterable item? Yeah, probably. But what are you going to get for a dried up cigarette? I don't know if people would actually go for that. But if you want to do that, that's great. What I recommend that you do is you actually get tobacco in the bag. It's still semi-moist, and then you just get yourself some wrapping papers. It will last much longer than that. You could have mold problems. You could have all sorts of problems. But I would also remind you that cigars that are 10, 15, 20 years old have been kept in humidors. And so there's a thought right there, guys. There's a thought right there. All right, let's see here. Build and maintain a knowledge base. Gather and preserve books and manuals on survival skills, gardening, medicine, and mechanics. Learn essential skills such as foraging, hunting, fishing, and emergency repairs. We talked about this yesterday with the books, being digital. But, this is obviously we're focusing. Digital doesn't work anymore because it's EMP. So gathering these books is a good idea. In my personal library, I keep it simple. I have a Chilton's manual for every vehicle that I have. I mean, it's not really going to matter because I can't get parts, but at least I'll know. And then cooking books, DIY construction books, DIY plumbing books, things like that, unless you have some kind of specific thing that you need a reference for. Those are pretty much it. I'm sure there's others out there. Matter of fact, if you know of any better ones, put them in the comments. Matter of fact, looking at the comments, let's see here. New video suggestion LP grid down magnetic north. Yeah, that's a pretty short video, bro. Over at here, Tuck says I haven't owned long underwear since I did a job in NC in '97. I should get at least one set though. Yes, absolutely. Cuck V says I just went through a grid down. We lost power for almost 3 days. When the bad storms went through, wife and I are saving up for a solar system and wind turbines. Yes. Just be aware those wind turbines are not super reliable. I personally love them. But, basically, some of them aren't that great. Let's see. I live in a blue county. Trading ammo would be a last resort. Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Download survival books to a tablet and keep the tablet in a Faraday bag for later. Absolutely. It just makes sure, Larry, I don't recognize you, but and thank you for being here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you have some kind of alternate power source that you can recharge, and you're good. Looks like Oops showed up. Good morning, my friend. Let's see here. Medical books. Yes, thank you very much. Medical books. There's a lot of them out there. Just be aware, just because they're big, thick ones and they're written by Harvard doesn't mean they're going to be user friendly. A lot of medical books actually have like lots of papers in them and like diagnostics that the average person will not understand. So just be aware. Just be aware of that. Matter of fact, we're going to throw that up there just because it's a good thing. Let's see here. Let's see. West Virginia Pappy says, I still own a complete set of encyclopedias. That's pretty awesome. We had a set as kids, and we used the hell out of them. We would get some good grades, and the teachers be like, how do you keep getting these good grades? Well, we have our own encyclopedias. It was a game changer. Now everything is in flux. Everything is completely in flux, Where we got here? Light Raider says, Doctor, he said, Doc is like, first. But let's add that on there. Tuck says, Dr. Bones, nurse, / Army books may be more relevant. Yes, absolutely. We've got Prepper Medical Handbook is awesome. Okay. And where we got here, medical journals have a real info if you look for it. Yeah, I know, but it's all about them reading it, you know. Let's see here. Cuckfee says, I live 30 to 40 minutes or miles east of Lake Michigan. We get lake effect clouds, fall, early spring, and lake effect snow. Yes, lake effect snow is no. I used to live in a town near Hamburg, New York, right on the was that Lake Erie? Lake effect snow is no joke. It's no joke. Where are we at here? Ian is saying to Cuck Farmer, FYI, with windmills, don't have them built too close to each other. Okay, good advice. Good advice. And West Virginia Pappy says medical dictionary to go with my medical books. Yes, yes, those are all good ideas. All right, so we're going to move on here, and we're going to create a defensive perimeter, because if EMP happens, you know, you're going to need to slow some people down. You're going to need to slow some people down. You may be giving your position away, but you know, if you got enough people, it's not really going to matter. Reinforce your home or retreat with physical barriers and security measures. Establish and maintain a defensive perimeter to deter potential threats. Also, practice and drills. Regularly practice your preparedness plans and drills with family or community members. Conduct scenarios for various emergency situations to ensure readiness and improve response times. This is another one of those things that people don't do. Some additional requirements that we'll think about is hygiene and sanitation. Have supplies like soap, bleach, toilet paper, and no alternative methods for waste disposal. Remember to rotate your bleach. Technically, bleach is only maintains its potency for 6 months. So remember to rotate your bleach out. Backup cooking methods. Learn to use methods like campfires and rocket stoves safely. Practice makes perfect. It's a good idea. The first time I cooked on a rocket stove that I had built out of bricks, I didn't realize what was happening, and I needed to get my pan off of the bricks so that the fire would actually breathe. Adaptability and mental preparedness. Develop a mindset of adaptability, resilience, and readiness to cope with unexpected challenges. Mental strength is going to be imperative if we get caught in an EMP. Let's see here. 3-inch screws on door hinges and latch plate, 100%. Larry says, get dry bleach in one of the pound blocks. Stores forever until you dilute it. Yes, store it properly though. Store it properly, otherwise you're wasting your time. I don't know what a gabion is. Gabions. Anyone can make gabions, and they can be disguised or just made pretty. What's a gabion, Tuck? What's a gabion? What we got here? Cuck also says, have radios to help with patrols. Prefer digital. To many people own Bofang radios digitally. They can't listen to or talk to you. It's a wall made of stone. I got you. All right. So let's see here. Before we go on, obviously we've got to talk about EMP shield, guys. We've got to talk about EMP shields. And why? Because why is that still on there? Boop. And why? Because, you've got to have a plan. It's that easy. I know these things aren't cheap. I've got a couple of them. I know they're not cheap. But I also know that you could save $50 off if you use code LocalPrepper. There's a link in the description. Go there and do that. Here's why. Because I got a plan. Something goes down, I'm going to get my car. I'm going to go get Granny. If something goes down with the girlfriend, she's going to get in her car. She's going to come home. If something happens bad, I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to go get her. There's going to be a lot of cars on the side of the damn road. Hopefully they're not in my way. There's going to be a lot of people wanting a ride because they don't know what just happened. There's going to be an opportunity to get things done, and I'm going to take it. And EMP Shield is going to help me get there because my car is going to operate. It's that easy. As usual, be adults, spend your money as you see fit. It's your money, but planning to fail is fail, or what was it? Failing to plan is planning to fail. So we'll just leave it right there. Okay, I'm going to go shoot on over to the comments real quick. Let's see here. A form of gabions are used by militaries, big wire fabric containers filled with stone. I gotcha. Fabric containers filled with stone, etc. It's an interesting idea. It sounds very logistically challenging, but it is still nonetheless a very interesting idea. LP, you made the gabions as HESCO barriers. Yes, HESCOs. I know what a HESCO is all day long, but some people don't. Once again, but that's still very logistically challenging. Let's see here. West Virginia Pappy says come-alongs and a tow strap to remove road obstacles. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes you just got to pull a car out of the way. All right. So we talked about what we can do to prepare for an EMP. Now we need to talk about how we're going to get home during an EMP. In the immediate aftermath of an EMP, getting home safely becomes a critical priority. And so here's how you can ensure that you make it back to your base of operations if something goes down. And, you can't underemphasize the importance of getting home safely. Otherwise, your family, hopefully you've been training them. Hopefully your family is in the preparedness mindset and understands that it may take a while for dad to get home or mom to get home, whichever it is. And that they should know what to do, and why it matters, reuniting the family ensures, you can reconnect with loved ones who may be relying on your support and leadership. Access to supplies, allows you to reach your stored supply shelter and, familiar environments like bug out bag. That's great, but I'm staying here because this is where my stuff is. And now I need to get home. Security, it provides a safe place compared to the uncertainty of being stranded or out on the road. So let's talk about some strategies. First things first, create an emergency plan. Route planning, identifying and memorizing multiple routes home, including primary and alternate routes. Avoid major highways if they're likely to be congested. Landmarks. Use landmarks instead of electronic navigation to guide your way. Know where things are. West Virginia Pappy just put it in the in the chat. Should have minimum of 3 routes home. Next is prepare a get home bag. The essentials. Pack essentials like water, non-perishable food, a first aid kit, a personal identification. Tools and gear, including a flashlight, multi-tools, maps, compass, and a little bit of weather-appropriate clothing, and obviously self-defense. Carry items for self-defense and protection, because when you're walking home, and that's how this all is going to run. I mean, unless I see you, like you, and know you, and let you get in my car that's protected by EMP shield, you'll be walking home. You will be walking home, and you might end up with some crazy people on the side of the road. So you might want to be able to defend yourself. And there's also the possibility too. I'm going to go off in left field for a split second. There's also a possibility too. You might start walking with somebody that you think is cool, but they're really, a psychopath, and they're just waiting for you to, because they can see that you were prepared, that they want to stick with you and go to your house because they know you got stuff there, and then you have a real problem. You may have to do something right there on the road if they start asking some crazy questions. So. All right. So luckily for my kids, I never had kids. Yeah, that's the truth, man. Okay. So what do we got here? Maintain physical fitness. Very important, guys. Before we go too deep into that, I want to tell you right now, I'm not as fit as I would like to be, but I can still keep up with the 18-year-olds for a short period of time. There's a lot to be said about that. So maintaining physical fitness, endurance, build physical endurance to walk long distances if transportation fails. Strength, develop strength to carry your get home bag and potentially assist others. So strength and endurance. Establish safety zones. Prearrange shelters. Identify safe locations along your route, such as a friend's home or community centers. Rest points. Plan. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Wow. Rest points. Plan where you can rest, rehydrate, and assess your situation. You know your body, you know how far you can go, or you should know your body and know how far you can go before you need to stop and take a rest. In the Marine Corps, we stop every 45 minutes, or actually 15 minutes, 50 minutes if we're getting tortured for water and rest. Let's see here. And also, it's not a bad idea to have some prearranged locations where you might actually have some stuff stashed. All right, let's see here. Learning navigations or learn navigation skills. You know, manual navigation. We talked about this before. Practice using maps and compasses to navigate without a GPS. And observation. Use natural signs like the sun, stars, and terrain to find your way. Let's go ahead and check the chat real quick. Let's see. Wife and I are fortunate in having lived in this area for decades. The streets we don't know well, we'll figure out real fast. There's a certain few patterns. Gotcha. We got you, bro. Oh, it looks like the score is, wow, YouTube's on a ball today, 34-24. You guys are kicking ass. That's great. All right, let's see here. Prepare for different scenarios. Vehicle failure. Oh, gee, I wonder why that would happen. Be ready to abandon your vehicle and proceed on foot if it becomes inoperable. Communications failure. Have a prearranged signals or meeting points with your family or colleagues in case of communication systems are down. Primary, alternate, tertiary systems is what we're talking about. Carry cash and identification transactions. Keep your cash on hand for transactions if digital payment systems are down. Identification. Carry important identification and any necessary permits or licenses. Have backup transportation. How many people have backup transportation? Put a 1 in the chat for me if you guys want a backup transportation. I know some people that carry like foldable bikes inside their vehicles. Maybe you've got a skateboard. Maybe you got one of those little electric scooters that you just stand on, you know. That's a thought. There's an idea because you can fold those in half and just tuck them in someplace. But bicycles, use a bicycle as an alternate means of transportation. Non-electric vehicles, consider keeping non-electric transportation options available, such as older cars without electronic ignition systems. There is some truth and some lie in that. If a true EMP were to go off over almost directly over these vehicles, they would still be made immobile. You would probably have to get rid of, change out, I believe it's your points. And there's another, it's the part that makes the batteries power even more power. And I can't remember the name of it. It's that part you never touch on the older vehicles while they're running because they will just like send you. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, put it in the chat. Let's see here. Transform. It's not transformer. Anyway, it amplifies the electricity. Anyway, let's see here. Stay informed and adaptable. The coil. There you go. Thank you, West Virginia Pappy. Let's see here. 1 and 2, my feet. 2 feet. 2 left feet. I got you. Where are we at here? Colt says, have to bring back the morning stretch and flex with LP. Never going to happen, my friend. That's never going to happen. Where are we at here? There are e-hub conversions for bikes. You swap the front hub or wheel. So if the motor fails, you can at least convert back. Yes. Yes. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Stay informed and adaptable. You know, situational awareness, stay aware of your surroundings and adapt to changes in the environment or road conditions and contingency planning. You know, be flexible with your plan and ready to make decisions based on the unfolding situation, you know. Where we got here, and practice regular drills. Almost every single one of these lists that I make, I always put practice drills at the end of it because people just don't, you know, practice makes perfect. You know, that whole smooth is fast, fast is smooth thing comes from practice, from muscle memory, from continuous motion. Your body just knows. You know, to this day, I don't practice as much as I should. My body still knows how to draw a weapon and use it. To this day, my thumb knows exactly where the selector switch on an M4 or M16 is. You know, it just happens. To this day, my cheek weld knows exactly where it is because it was part of my life for 20 years. You know, so repetition, fast to smooth, smooth to fast. Practice regular drills, mock drills, conduct regular get-home drills to test and refine your plan. Family involvement. Involve your family members in drills to ensure everyone knows the plan. And here's the thing, test him too. You can test him. You can be like, oh, Dad, I know what to do. Good. Everybody out of the house. Do it. Watch them on your freaking, everybody's got cameras on their phones now hooked to their house. I got the Roku. I've got the what is it, Wix or something like that? Not Wix, the Wise cameras. You know, everybody's got them. Watch and see what they do. We're going to watch you. You do it. You know, call them out. Make them understand how important it is. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and check the tab. I guess I need a tricycle. They're okay. Tricycles are okay. They don't fit in your car too well. Let's see. Oops says, where are we at here? Really easy to use old weed trimmers or saw engine and mount to bike. A little loud, but can move. There you go. There you go. Cuckfee says, we have an older diesel vehicle. All you have is injection pump, fuel shut off, glow plugs, and starter. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. If you've got those parts, you put them in some kind of Faraday box, you know, turn a wrench, make it happen. It's going to work. It's going to work. I love the old diesel engines, man. You can put 1,000,000 miles on those things, and they just keep going, man. All right, let's see here. We're going to go ahead and do that right there. And looks like nothing's in the chat right now, guys. This is your opportunity to get something in the chat before we tuck this away for the week, because it is the weekend, and believe it or not, I still have work to do. But let's go and close out by saying successfully getting home after an EMP event is crucial for assessing your resources, reuniting with your family, and securing your safety by preparing a comprehensive get-home strategy. Comprehensive get-home strategy, guys. Write it down. Make a plan. You can navigate the challenges and uncertainties of an EMP event more effectively. Prioritizing physical fitness, route planning, and manual navigation skills will increase your chances of making it home and ensuring your overall preparedness. I just gave you guys the answers to the test. Listen to me. I'm going to say it once again. When you're making your plan, that was weird. Prioritizing physical fitness, route planning, and manual navigation skills will increase your chances of making it home safely and ensuring your overall preparedness. Okay. Anja. Hello from Deutschland. Nice. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been to Germany. Oldest brewery on the planet. Freising. I love Freising. Anyway, you kind of got here at a really bad time, Anja, because this live stream is about to end. But hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you hit that little bell so that you get my notifications here. I am here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern to 10 a.m. Eastern, or when I get done, like now. All right, guys, that's going to be a bit about it for right now. Do me a favor. If you could please, you guys have been slacking, but I'm going to let it slide. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out, okay? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I just explained why. If you want to support the channel, there are links below. Any one of those will help me in a myriad of different ways. And as usual, don't forget to go to PrepStop, prepstop.net. Go to PrepStop, get your PrepStop tickets. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.